Hello everyone, Alan Thrall here at Untamed Strength Gym in Sacramento, California. This is training vlog number 6, I believe, for California Strongest Man 2025 prep. You're gonna see me do day 3, maybe day 4, maybe day 5 of my strongman program. Just depends on how much I fit into this video. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about pain in the gym, injuries, and how to deal with them. Starting off with some resisted sprints with this Exergenie. I think this is good prep for truck pull, which I'll be doing at California Strongest Man without having to do truck pull. This is good prep. Good for Achilles tendon, Achilles tendon, calf pull, Achilles strain, Achilles tendon rupture. Pretty common in strongman when you're doing like a forward push or a forward pull. So I mentioned this a couple videos back, but my bicep has been bothering me whenever I do events or whenever I do any pulling, direct bicep work, any rowing. And so all of the strongman events, truck pull, Atlas stones especially, axle clean a little bit because that's my underhand, my supinated hand. When I pick up a sandbag, it bothers me. So I haven't really been doing any event training for the past few weeks, and I want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about how I deal with injuries or how I deal with pain in the gym. Whenever I get injured in the gym, one word immediately comes to mind: catastrophe. So whatever is happening to me is catastrophic. I immediately think worst case scenario. This is never gonna get any better. I'm never gonna be the same. I'm never gonna recover from this physically. I'm never gonna recover from this financially, because whatever it is, probably is gonna need surgery and doctor visits. My training will never be the same. This is just my new normal, something I have to deal with for the rest of my life. I can no longer do the things that I love to do. And so when I do this, when I think about worst case scenario first, I set my expectations so low, right? This is not gonna get any better. Set my expectations so low that if there's any sort of relief in the future, it's actually welcomed good news. So set my expectations extremely low. Anything that happens is gonna exceed my low expectations. The second thing I do when I have an injury is I wanna test it every single day. And the goal is to irritate or aggravate that area or that injury every single day, daily basis. That way I show the injury that I'm in charge, it's not in charge of me. I don't like letting off the gas. I don't like easing up. I think that life is short. I don't have time to take a detour. So I test it, irritate it, aggravate it, whatever I need to do every single day, because I know that there's gonna be a time when it heals. And if it heals overnight, I wanna know exactly when that opportunity strikes so that I can push it. It's kind of like, you know, this rehab fairy comes and visits you at night. And so every morning I wanna know if that rehab fairy came and touched me with her wand last night and I'm healed. And if so, I don't wanna miss the opportunity to train at 100% again. Test it every day, bother it every day, irritate it, aggravate it, whatever you need to do. Really, really hyper focus on it is what I like to tell myself. Even throughout the day, like if something's bothering me, just do it more. My elbow's bothering me when I do this, do it more. So for any of you completely clueless about what the heck this is, these are chains. You can squat with chains, deadlift with chains, bench with chains. And if they're set up correctly, at the bottom of the lift, in this case the squat, the bottom of the squat, almost all of the chain weight is on the ground. So I just have the weight of the bar on my back. As you stand up and each link comes off the ground, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. So it just feels a little bit different than straight weight. You know, 315 pounds on my back, straight weight is 315 the whole time. This might be 300 at the bottom, 310, 320, 330, 340 at the top, whatever. And my program doesn't call for this specifically, but today is just a back squat, and last 3 weeks I've been squatting with bands, and now I'm just squatting with chains, just because I have the equipment here and it's just fun to me. So I would encourage you, you can always, if you're doing the program, you can always do stuff like this. Add chains, add bands, change barbells, use an SSB instead of a barbell. But I would encourage you to do it for like 3 to 4 weeks at a time. You know, you can do whatever you want, but I don't suggest changing variations every single week. So do it for 3 to 4 weeks at a time. If you love doing it, just keep doing it for as long as you want. Rotate whenever you need. And number 3, when I'm dealing with an injury, I want to invest in every recovery protocol available. Stretching, foam rolling, flossing, e-stim, hot and cold therapy, ice bath, sauna, red light therapy, e-stim. Try out every cream imaginable, maybe some tape, maybe some copper sleeves. That way I can figure out what actually works. Leave no stone unturned. You know, some people will say that, you know, the human body's pretty good at healing itself, and in like 6 weeks time, most injuries kind of just heal on their own. Fine, I hope that happens. That's good news. That way that when that happens, I'm so invested in all these other recovery protocols and methods that I am now neurotic about it, and I have to do it in order to prevent that injury from coming back. And I believe that if you're neurotic about something, it just means that you care. So today I'm doing axle bar jerks. I'm doing them from the blocks. No clean today. And I'm using these giant wheels, these Rogue wagon wheels, for a couple reasons. One, I might end up using tires for the axle clean and press, truck tires, which are about this diameter. And that changes the center of balance a little bit, just because it's such a big implement. It feels slightly different, and so I want to mimic that. But also, this actually works out to be a perfect height with these jerk blocks. These jerk blocks are a little bit low for me. So with a normal 45-pound plate, I have to squat down pretty low to get under it. This is a perfect height. Again with the unknown plate loading. So I know I said on the first training vlog that I was not going to do a split jerk. I lied. It just feels too good not to do. If split jerking is wrong, I don't want to be right. It is a gamble because if it's raining that day and if footing is an issue, I'm in trouble, but I guess you can call me a gambling man. Okay. I'm gonna do a few singles at this weight. I'll figure out the weight at the end. All right, reps improved as I went along. I actually feel like jerks from the blocks or from the rack don't feel better than, I prefer to clean them first. I think it's maybe some sort of like nervous system prime to have an aggressive clean, throw it up, and then jerk. But out of the rack, it just does not feel great, or off the blocks. This event is going to be a freaking gut check. We'll see who's left standing after this event. 100 feet yoke, sprint back, 100 feet sandbag carry, loaded over the yoke. So today I'm doing chain yoke, which wobbles a whole hell of a lot more than a normal yoke. And so I feel like the time under tension is twice as much with the chain yoke than it is with a regular yoke. So I'm holding that brace. The time it takes me to do it is probably, again, twice as much. And since this is an endurance event, a freaking heavy endurance event, I just feel like if I can hold this yoke for whatever, 20 seconds, a 10-second yoke run, 15-second yoke run will be cake. Thank you, dude. As an experienced strongman competitor, you gotta be smart about your training. If you prescribe 3 sets, realize you have to put all this away. So I've got 2 working sets. My last working set will be cleanup. One more. Loving it. All that incline treadmill interval I've been doing freaking pays off, dude. Okay, Atlas stones today. So I have not done Atlas stones for 3 or 4 weeks. I'd have to look back to see in my training log when exactly that was, but since the bicep's been bothering me, I've just laid off any stones. And so I'm gonna do some stones today just to test it out. Instead of doing it bare-handed, I'm gonna use this Spud Inc. stone strap. It's kind of like lifting straps for deadlift, but for stones. Wrap this around the stone, put your hands in here. This way I can pick the stone up with a little bit straighter arms. I don't have to wrap my arms around it so much, less bicep. And I can just build up some confidence with picking up a heavy stone. I'm not gonna try to load it today. I'm not gonna try to put it up on a platform or over a bar. I feel like that'll kind of come back naturally, and I've been doing so many cleans that aggressive triple extension is there. So, but I think that no matter what you do in the gym, you've really got to kind of develop or at least prep your body for picking up, a 300-pound stone off the ground. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'll go 285. So another shot of that. Rock-a-bye baby in the treetop. Setting down a heavy stone while you're connected to it like that is not fun. Using this strap actually feels a lot like lifting a stone with heavy tacky. And a tackless stone, picking up a stone without tacky and picking up a stone with tacky, your technique changes just slightly. With a tackless stone, you really have to get your hands as far under the stone as you can to where your knuckles are on the ground, for me at least. So the stone is like resting on top of my hands. That forces your arm to bend as you go wrap around the stone. So it is a lot more biceps heavy. When you have really sticky tacky, you can just kind of put your hands on the side like that, right here. And so you sort of pick it up with straighter arms, which is what this feels like. It's also a higher starting position. So you'll see people come up to the stone and boom, like that, really quick, and just pick it up like that. Whereas a tackless stone, you've got to like work the stone around to get underneath it. So I'm gonna do 305. And if I can do 305 for 3 to 5 singles with a good rest in between, I'll be very happy. That'll exceed my expectations. I'll be a very happy strongman. Four. 5. Very pleased with that. So I know it sounds like I'm making a bunch of excuses, and maybe I am, but The reason for doing this vlog is to document all this stuff and kind of walk through the competition prep process and any speed bumps I come across, how to navigate that. And after doing those stones, I'm getting this sensation in my hand that I got a few weeks ago. I stupidly was doing a rock climbing hold, and I was trying to do like a 2-finger rock climbing hold, and as I was doing it, I felt a slight pull, no pain, but a slight pull in my hand and up my wrist and into my forearm. And so my grip was just really weak for about a week. Anyways, and it went away, but I feel it coming back as I was doing those stones. I do need to train my grip, and so what I'm gonna do is some hangs on this rope. This is preparation for the truck pull, which has a forward rope that I'll be pulling. So whenever I do a strongman event that involves a rope pull, so that could be a seated arm over arm pull, that could be a truck pull with a forward rope. I've done a hoist event where I'm reaching overhead, pulling rope down, and the weight's lifting up. I think for all those events, your grip and your arm strength and endurance is the limiting factor. When you get to the end of that event, after a minute of doing that, you start to slide on the rope. Your hands, you can't squeeze very hard. Your arms are so pumped, you just can't hang on to the rope anymore. Rarely is it your back and legs that really fatigue. And this is coming from someone who just does local competitions. I've never done the Arnold or OSG or anything like that. And so I think that doing some arm and grip work really helps with that. My secret tool is rope climbs, which is over here, climbing up, to a 15 or 20 foot rope and then back down. And I think those are best because there's an eccentric. You have to lower yourself back down. With any other rope pull, there's no eccentric. You're just pulling the concentric, relax, pull, relax. But the rope of going up and down a rope, I think is the best thing that I can personally do. And it might be different if you're, a 295 pound strongman. I can't tell you to go do rope climbs. But anyways, so because I don't want to do too much on my bicep too soon, it does feel good after stones. I'm not going to do rope climbs where I'm using a lot of bicep. I'm just going to hang from a rope, just to build up that hand strength for rope pulls. Okay, so the plan today was to do some clean complex with the axle bar, and this weekend I thought I was going to add a jerk with it. However, my shoulder feels not great. It's pretty sore, pretty beat up, and so I made a call this morning. I'm just going to do the workout without the overhead, and even on the jumps, just swinging my arm started to make my shoulder feel a little bit worse. And then as I was doing the power cleans, just catching it, getting my shoulder in that position was really bothering it. And as I was doing the jumps and the power clean, it was getting worse. Generally, if I come in feeling stiff, I'll wait until I warm up because things start to feel better as I warm up, but that wasn't the case. It was just getting worse. And so I just figure I'm gonna scrap the cleans for now because it's bothering my shoulders, and doing any more of that is not gonna be helpful at all in the big picture. And so I was supposed to do front squats with the axle bar, but just getting that position with my shoulder was bothering it, catching it in the power clean. So I said, I'm not gonna front squat with an axle bar. I'll do a machine. So I'm doing the reverse hack squat, which feels awesome. It does feel like a front squat to me. I just sit my hips straight down between my heels, keep my knees forward, drive up against that slant, and it really feels like a tire flip or a front squat. So after the reverse hack squat, I did a hammer strength lat pullover. Now the reason for doing this, I can't do a lot of rowing because my bicep, any rowing that I pick involves my bicep. Any pull involves my bicep, and I just don't want to aggravate it. So what I'm doing here is, this doesn't require any bicep, this is all lats. And when I do this pullover, I'm trying to just use my elbows, drive my elbows down. I'm not trying to pull with my hands. When I do pull with my hands, I tend to feel it more in my triceps. So I'm just driving my elbows down, just trying to really exhaust my lats. And I think that's really gonna help, definitely for truck pull. If I can't do a bunch of high rep rowing right now, I'm gonna do high rep lats if I can. So I think this will help with truck pull. And I supersetted the lat pullover with these GAR hammer raises. You can do these on a flat bench or an inclined bench. The more inclined, the more difficult it is. And these are killer on the abs and the obliques. This is probably my favorite abdominal exercise. I guess the other ones would be ab rollouts or ab wheel rollouts, and also straight leg sit-ups on like a GHD or flat on the ground. And so these GAR hammer raises actually require quite a bit of lats too, as I kind of curl my body up and reverse that curl. And remember folks, it is almost sweaty season here in Sacramento, here at Untamed Strength. So make sure you wipe down your equipment when you're finished.